Good afternoon, Your Excellencies, dear ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. We are grateful for your presence here at the opening of the documentary exhibition dedicated to Chiune Sugihara, the Japanese diplomat who saved the lives of thousands of Jews. In a few minutes, we'll start the opening speeches, and after that, we'll have a film screening about the life of Mr. Chiune Sugihara. And after the film, we invite you to visit the exhibition and enjoy a cocktail at the Cafeneaua Hall. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce His Excellency Mr. Hiroshi Ueda, the Ambassador of Japan, to give the welcome speech. Mr. Ambassador, please.
First of all, thank you very much for coming to this event. Before starting this, I'd like to thank, first of all, the team of Mr. Lichu, Diplomatic Archives Unit of Foreign Affairs Ministry, and also the AL Group, Mrs. Mihaela Paun and her team for letting us, hold this special event tonight, this afternoon, sorry. And well, sometimes it's very difficult to do the right thing, especially for us public servants when the orders of the superiors is wrong. But there's one person who did the right thing on the right occasion, and I'd like to introduce you tonight, this person. Uneori este foarte dificil să faci ceea ce este corect, mai ales pentru noi funcționarii publici, su o instrucțiune greșită. Astăzi vă prezint un erou care a făcut ceea ce trebuia să facă. Dear Mr. Predoiu, Vice Prime Minister and Minister of Internal Affairs, dear Ambassador Luca Niculescu, and my dear friend ambassadors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Chiune Sugihara is a familiar household name in Japan and relatively well known in other countries. Yet little is known about him in Romania, even though he was stationed in Romania during the World War II. The wise learn from history. We have strived to learn lessons from history in order not to repeat the mistakes of the past. We also need to know history in order to draw inspiration from anonymous heroes who rarely make their way into history textbooks. Chiune Sugihara, also known as Senpo, is one such person. Chiune Sugihara este un nume cunoscut în Japonia și relativ bine cunoscut în alte țări. Cu toate acestea, în România se știu puține lucruri despre acesta, deși a staționat în România în timpul celui de-al Doilea Război Mondial. Ce înțelepți învață din istorie. Este o persoană despre care merită să înveți. Și după aceea vă rog să citiți broșura pe care l-ați primit. After entering the Foreign Ministry of Japan in 1939, he was appointed Vice Consul at the Japanese Consulate in Kaunas, Lithuania. In June 1940, when Lithuania was invaded by the Soviets, many refugees, most of them believed to be Jewish, lined up in front of the Japanese consulate in Kaunas, applying for transit visas to Japan, hoping to escape as far as possible. It was a Dutch honorary consul who took the initiative, trying to obtain safe passage for refugees, and Chiune Sugihara joined him without permission from his superiors in Tokyo headquarters, issuing thousands of transit visas between July and September of 1940. În iunie 1940, când Lituania este invadată de sovietici, refugiații, mulți dintre ei evrei, formează cozi în fața consulatului Japoniei în Kaunas, solicitând vize de tranzit pentru Japonia, în încercarea de a fugi cât mai departe. Inițiativa de a-i ajuta pentru obținerea unor permise de liberă trecere aparținea consulului onorific olandez, iar Chiune Sugihara îi se alătură fără aprobarea superiorilor de la Tokyo. Între iulie și septembrie 1940, el emite mii de vize de transit. As a result of his efforts, it is believed that thousands of Jews were able to escape from the war zone to China, Japan, South America, North America, and Australia. Between 1941 and 1944, Chiune Sugihara was stationed in Bucharest. He returned to Japan 2 years after the war was over. Chiune Sugihara left the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in 1947, and it could be that he had no other options but to resign because of the pressure to take the responsibility not to have followed the superior's orders. For decades, he remained unknown. Until 1984, he was awarded the title of Righteous Among the Nations. This is a distinction bestowed by the Yad Vashem Holocaust Memorial in Jerusalem on non-Jews who risked their lives to save Jews. Chiune Sugihara died in 1986 at the age of 86, and in 2000, Foreign Minister of Japan apologized to his family for its unfair attitude toward him and his family. There are so many famous diplomats in Japan, such as Foreign Minister and then Prime Minister Yoshida Shigeru, who played a central role in the improvement of Japan's standing after World War II period. Foreign Minister Mutsu Munemitsu and Foreign Minister Komura Jutaro, who were both instrumental in the elimination of unequal treaties in the end of 19th century. But Chiune Sugihara, although he was not even a director of the ministry, is the diplomat I admire most, and arguably the most famous diplomat throughout the history in Japan. I hope as many Romanians as possible get to know about this diplomatic hero of Japan. Există mulți diplomații renumiți în Japonia, dar Chiune Sugihara este diplomatul pe care îl admir cel mai mult și fără îndoială cel mai distins diplomat din Japonia. Sper ca foarte mulți români să afle despre acest erou al diplomației Japoniei. Thank you very much, and in concluding my words, I'd like to add one word. I wanted to hold this event with my old friend, late Mr. Dan Schlanger, the president of the Bucharest Jewish Film Festival. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I am extremely pleased to invite now Mr. Marian Cătălin Predoiu, Vice Prime Minister and Minister of Internal Affairs, to give his remarks, please.
Good day to everybody. I'm very honored to be here present, and thanks to Japan Embassy for the invitation. I'm here to honor and to pay tribute to the memory of this hero diplomat, Chiune Sugihara. I asked my team to prepare me a speech regarding his life and his facts of heroism in the service of humanity. But I understood that a movie will follow, and I don't want to breach the surprise. Anyway, reading the notes I prepared, I was very impressed by some details I didn't know till present. And I think there are some characteristics of this heroic diplomat who are, in fact, a good example for all of us in the present days. First of all, this diplomat understood immediately the context in which he worked. And the stake, the challenge of some decisions, he was decided to take it in spite of the risks for his career, and more than his career, for his life. It is not a common quality, this, to understand perfectly the context, the historical context, the challenges, and the stake for the future of what you are doing in the present. Secondly, he has the courage to take the right decision in spite of the risks and the pressure on him and on his family. And third, he had the capacity, technically, to organize his decision and put in motion his decision. Because it's not enough to understand, to take decisions, and just to limit yourself to this. It's important to organize yourself, to put in place and to put in motion what you have decided. And this is not a very often quality sometimes. So more than that, the fact that he saved thousands of Jews, thousands of people with his sacrifices, with his risks, it's an example for all of us today and for the generations to come. And that's why I'm here. I believe it's important for a member of the government to be present here and to send a clear signal that the Romanian government understands perfectly this kind of sacrifice, this kind of values, this kind of commitments for the humanity, for a good understanding between people, for keeping the values, the right values in place, and to defend them in the future, if necessary. I will not occupy your time too much. I will let you to follow the program. And once again, thank you very much, Ambassador. I'm very glad to see here many friends I have in Bucharest. And I'm sure for all of us, this will be a moment we will remember and keep in our heart. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I would like to give the floor now to Mr. Andrei Țârnea, Director General, Communication Department, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Domnule viceprim-ministru, domnule secretar de stat, excelenței voastre, domnilor și domnilor ambasadori, doamnelor și domnilor, se spune adesea că, I'll say it in English because that's what my colleagues told me to do, but I was impressed with the ambassador addressing the public in Romanian, so I got stuck to that. They say that history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And when it comes to events like the Holocaust, we can't afford that. We can't afford to let history replay. Unfortunately, however, we've seen it over the decades since the end of the Second World War, repeating itself too often. And officials rarely stepping in to say, no, I won't do that, or stepping in to save lives. There's a Jewish saying stemming from the Torah that says that whomever saves one life saves mankind. But there's also something else. And we're sitting here in a geography of a city that has seen the Holocaust taking place. A few days later, Romania will commemorate the day that is dedicated to the Holocaust remembrance. So we're sitting here today, literally meters away from Bucharest's main synagogue. Bucharest never had a ghetto, but it had a bustling, alive, cosmopolitan, multi-ethnic, multi-religious Jewish quarter. The war and the Holocaust destroyed that, even if people survived. The legacy of the Holocaust lives to this day. If you look around, the remains are there, the buildings are there, but so few of the people are there. And we can't separate that part of the history from present day. There's also something else that links directly to the actions of somebody like Chiune Sugihara. Courage under pressure. What we hear today is the screeching sounds of illiberal, ultranationalist, sovereignist discourse that often uses the dog whistling anti-Semitism as a tool for political discourse. That is again an element of that history that rhymes that is unacceptable. So with acts like this and those of Romanian diplomats that also saved life, and I know Doru Liciu also introduced in exhibitions, and you can see some examples, concrete examples of those actions. But we're here to celebrate a Japanese diplomat, a fellow diplomat, that had acted with courage, with selflessness, and in that sense, he did save the mankind. And in that sense, we're thankful for his actions. It's not just important for Japan, it's important for Romania, it's important for all of us. And as a diplomat myself, I find examples like those a bright light in our day-to-day action. We think that we're never faced with those circumstances, that can never play again, and will never be called to take those decisions. But we are. And we're witnessing a brutal war on the border of this country, where things that we thought are impossible in Europe are happening again. And in those circumstances, individual actions matter. And we know that so few have stepped up to say, no, this is not right. And in that sense, yet again, thank you very much to you, Ambassador, to our colleagues at Diplomatic Archives at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Romania, and Arcub for hosting this exhibition. Thank you very much.
Next, I'm very honored to introduce Mr. Doru Gheorghe Liciu, Minister Counselor and Head of the Diplomatic Archives Unit, to give us his remarks. Please.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I am the keeper of the memorial, of the institutional memory of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and as historian and diplomat, I discovered with great joy a few years ago documents and photographs related to Chiune Sugihara, the hero which memory we are celebrating today. He was a true hero because, as Ambassador Ueda said before, he had the courage to step up, and because he was living extraordinary times, he did extraordinary things to help the fellow humans in need. He risked his career and issued visas for life for thousands of Jews which were fleeing the Europe in order to escape persecution. In the archives of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we are keeping many of those stories of the Romanian and foreign diplomats stationed in Bucharest during the Second World War. Some of them had been recognized as Reichstag among the nations, but some of them still awaits to be recognized. And I will mention a few names. First of all, I will mention the name of Andrea Casulo, the representative of Vatican in Romania during the Second World War. He risked his life to save thousands of Jews living in Romania, but also he was like a fighter for humanity. He intervened in the favor of all of those who were in need and persecuted during the Second World War. He intervened for the Polish refugees. He intervened for the Romanian refugees from Bessarabia and Bukovina. He intervened for the rights of the Soviet prisoners of war, for the Jews, and at the end of the war, when the ethnic Germans were deported to Soviet Union, Andrea Casulo organized few fellow priests, and they offered to go in the work in the forced labor camps with all of their believers in order to offer their comfort. So in this respect, I use this opportunity to bring in the attention of the public few names of the diplomats who did so. Also, I will mention that the Romanian diplomats as well had the courage to break the rules and to issue passports, visas for people in need. And I will mention only the diplomats from the Romanian legation in Budapest, Eugen Filoti and Dragoș Kotlarciuc, who had the courage to risk their own lives and to issue visas for the Jews who were persecuted, and they were risking to lose their life in occupied Hungary. Dragoș Kotlarciuc especially deserve reconnaissance, and I hope to be able to write and to speak more about him. As always, I like to mention, the history is very important because it tends to repeat itself, and if we do not look in history, we are condemned to repeat the same mistakes. And I would like to thank you very much for attending this event. I would like to thank the Embassy of Japan in Romania for organizing this event. I would like to thank to our colleagues from the diplomatic archives of the Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which contributed with some documents and picture, and our exhibition is illustrating the life and the endeavors of Chiune Sugihara. The diplomat, the Japanese diplomat, which remembers us always like a memento, like an example for how to keep our humanity and how to do great things in exceptional times. Thank you very much for your attention.
I'm extremely delighted to invite now First Rabbi of Romania, Mr. Rafael Schaffer, on behalf of the Federation of Jewish Communities of Romania, to say a few words.
Thank you. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I speak here on the behalf of Member of Parliament Silvio Vexer. He wanted to be here, but unfortunately he's not in Romania, as far as I know. I read about Chiune Sugihara a long time ago. There was one point in his story that fascinated me. After having to resign from the Foreign Office, I read that he lived in poverty. There were times when he had to sell rice in order to earn a living, which for a diplomat is very difficult. I asked myself the question, when he lived in poverty, did he regret it or not? What he did or not? I believe he didn't. For almost 40 years, his deeds were not known. Only 2 years, in the last 2 years of his life, he lived until 86 and he was recognized only in 1984. But in the end of his life, he was recognized. This is a message for all of us. Good deeds will be known. And it may take some time, it's not maybe many years, but good deeds will be recognized. So it's an encouragement for all of us to do good deeds, even if they are difficult. And for the last thing, I want, on behalf of my people, to thank Chiune Sugihara for all the lives he saved. Thank you.
We are pleased to invite now Mr. Rami Teplitsky, Counselor and Deputy Head of Mission, Embassy of the State of Israel in Romania, to give a speech on this occasion.
Dear Excellencies, first of all, I want to say great thanks to the Ambassador of Japan for organizing this very, very, very important day. In my last posting, I could see with my own eyes the extent of the work of Sugihara. After working, he moved to what was called back then Königsberg and works from there. And I saw the house where he was throwing the papers out. So the papers with the names of the illegal documents will not be known to anyone. He was risking his life, but the Jews were moving from Eastern Europe all the way to Asia and escaping the Holocaust. If one place, I saw the plate in Kaliningrad, Königsberg, that the Jewish community have built there for him. The second plate for him that I saw was in Birobidzhan, in Siberia, on the border with China. And again, a plate for Sugihara, because the Jews, what today is a 9 hours flight, were fleeing for weeks and months on end, escaping with the documents he signed. Israel recognized him as Righteous Among Nations, Yad Vashem Institute. And I cannot ask myself as a diplomat the hard question, would I do the same standing there? We diplomats, we like order, we like doing the right thing, but sometimes the right thing is not right by the laws. And it's a question that I think most of us cannot really answer. He's a great hero. He's a great hero for the Jewish people. He's a great hero for Israel. He's a great hero for Japan. And he's a great hero for humanity. Thank you.